Howdy, cruisers and theme park lovers. It is Sunday morning, and we have not been vaporized in a nuclear apocalypse. So, let's talk about cruises and theme parks. Alrighty then. First, let's get the theme park stuff out of the way, because I know a lot of you here are just for the cruise stuff. And sometime last week, Disney announced the new name for Walt Disney Studios Park at the Disneyland Paris Resort, and the name they came up with was Disney Adventure World. Yeah, alright, here's the thing. All of you people that are happy that the board retained control, that that Bob Iger retained control, that Nelson Peltz was unsuccessful, this is on you. You and the Pixie Dusters. You are largely responsible for the bankruptcy in Disney creativity. Disney Adventure World? Yeah. No. No. Could they pick a worse name? Probably not. And, alright, I can hear people say, oh, well, what would you have named the park? Okay, well, I can certainly have done better than that. I said this, did I say this in a video a long time ago? Probably when talking about California Adventure. I think this name would be better for California Adventure, but you know what? They have the opportunity to rename a park here. So why not go with something, well, actually meaningful, and call it Disney's Worlds and Legends Theme Park, which would be often shortened to Walt Park. There you go. Very, very simple. Now, there are other better names out there. I think the one that's been floating around for a long time is Cinemagic Park, or Cinemagique Park. You know, I guess Francophonize, is that a word? Well, it is now. The name, that would be much better, but Disney Adventure Park. Also, I have to ask, does nobody at the Walt Disney Company have a map? Right, does nobody? Really? Because they announced this, and I'll bet $1 that right afterwards, there was a meeting at Universal where they were just sort of internally asking themselves, should we tell them now, or should we wait until they actually start putting the signs up because of this? Yes, this already exists, and everyone seems to presume that it will be a Universal park again. And I kind of hope that the people in Universal who wanted to wait win. You know, let Disney, let them, basically, let them be totally on the hook, then point out, yeah, by the way, yeah, that we kind of own this name. Just to watch Disney squirm. Oh, it's gonna be glorious. Next, the Do Not Disturb sign drama. This was also everywhere. It happened on Carnival. A guest had their Do Not Disturb sign on the door for a couple of days, and it is policy to check on the stateroom. Okay, no problem with that. However, something similar happened to me, and it was probably the worst possible way for it to happen, because it was in a studio aboard, I guess this was Norwegian Bliss, and if you are familiar with the studio cabins on the Breakaway and Breakaway Plus class ships, then you know that the door opens directly onto the shower, meaning you open the door and right in front of you is the shower, the glass shower. So yes, I did not hear the knock. The door opened and, hey, how you doing? Okay, I mean, not really some huge thing. I'm sure it happens all the time. And yeah, so if you are sailing in a studio on Norwegian and you're taking a shower, you might want to click the Do Not Disturb. Just saying. But yeah, it had happened to me, so worst possible way. But I don't know. I don't want to say it was kind of amusing, but yeah. That's what happened to me. Anyway, next, Carnival Headquarters, yes. The news that Carnival is selling their headquarters. All right, the deal is, I know this area out in Doral. This is not an uncommon thing. A lot of companies have sold their formerly very large properties when downsizing. And the reality is, they probably don't have a call center. They probably don't process a lot of paperwork like checks, like actual processing checks there anymore. So they don't need the space. And here's the thing, this is just, I don't know, FYI, fun fact or whatever. They're not selling the building. Nobody's going to use the building. They are selling all of this, the land around the building. That's what's valuable, not the building. They might even have a deal to stay on that same property, just without the giant parking lot. So, yeah, that's why they're selling. The building is probably fine. It's just the land. The land is what's valuable. Now, my bets on where they're going to go, I would not be surprised if they moved downtown like everyone else is. MSC is opening their North American, or actually I guess their Western Hemisphere headquarters near downtown, right by the Overtown Metro Rail station and Brightline Miami Central Terminal. Not a station, it is a terminal. So maybe Carnival would move down there. That means MSC, Carnival, Royal Caribbean would all be in a row. Now, they cannot get their old headquarters back at 820 Biscayne because that is a residential unit now. However, I think the address at 820 Biscayne Boulevard might just be a CVS. And while, I mean, this isn't San Francisco or Chicago or New York or Los Angeles or, any place like that. So the CVS is not in danger of closing anytime soon, but I'm sure they could work a deal to open a Carnival Preview Center at their old address. Wouldn't that be fantastic? I would love to see it, and I would be third in line. Just because, I've learned not to do the whole inaugural thing. Well, okay, I should have learned that lesson, but I haven't. Hint, hint. Anyway, so yes, where is Carnival going to move? Who knows? They probably will stay in Doral. But yeah, the reason they're not selling the building, they're selling the parking lot. Okay? On to MSC. Yes, I will be on cliffhanger. Yes, I am looking forward to World America. They just announced that the third world-class ship will be World Asia. My first thought was, didn't we already know this? I swear it had already been announced. Although, it might have just been a presumption of mine because it makes the most sense. So, looking forward to MSC World Asia, hopefully out of Singapore. Probably will have already been there. Hopefully, hint, hint. But what about the fourth world-class ship? Because as of now, they've ordered 4. My bets are... Okay, two options. Two options I like. Number 1, the MSC World Ocean. Okay. Or more likely, the MSC World Pacific. That kind of makes more sense. Either way, World Pacific may be based in Singapore or doing double duty between Singapore and Shanghai and maybe even Australia. Or if they go with MSC World Ocean, that could be their floating cruise ship that moves around different regions of the world. Get it? Their floating cruise ship because it's a ship that floats on the water, but it would also like move around into different regions. So it's like their floating cruise ship. Yeah, okay, fine, whatever. Right, well, those are my bets. MSC World Pacific or MSC World Ocean. What do you think? But there's more new ship news. Norwegian announced a big order. But let's talk about Norwegian Cruise Line. Apparently they've ordered, 4 or 6 new builds for Norwegian Cruise Line in the 200,000 tonnage range. That's pretty big. That is between that's between the Quantum class and Oasis class or something like that. So these are big ships. Okay, awesome. Norwegian is going big again. Norwegian, it would be fantastic. I would be maybe first in line if you were to name the first one Norway. That's it, just Norway. You know what? Everyone's doing the whole retro naming thing. Well, there you go. The Norway. Oh, finally, back to MSC again, and they're chartering, or they chartered probably by now, an aircraft to repatriate all the Ecuadorians who had, I think it was Ecuadorians, Bolivians, who had the fake visa, who could not enter Europe. If anyone's wondering why they had to do this, that is normal. That is perfectly normal. The operator of the conveyance that brought you to the point of entry is responsible for repatriating you if you are not allowed entry. So this is something technically the cruise lines have been on the hook for forever. It just doesn't happen that often. It's definitely something the airlines deal with every day. So yeah, if they fly you somewhere, you don't have the right paperwork to get in, or you're just not let in, right? That's kind of a risk they take. Then yes, they are responsible for sending you back. So that this is happening, not really a big deal. I would just be curious as to whether MSC offered to put them on commercial flights, and the Spanish authorities just said no because it's too risky. They'd have to be escorted, and they'd have to make sure they all got on the same plane, and what if it was canceled? It's much easier to just put them on one plane, send them back, and be done with it. So yeah, that's perfectly normal. It happens all the time, so oh well. And they can't send the cruise ship back. That would be an operational... no, that's not going to happen. So, Have you ever been denied entry into a country because of lack of paperwork or fake paperwork? I think we would all love to hear the story, and if we're denied entry together because, well, who knows what lists we're on, maybe I'll see you on board.